My name is Lila. I have told this story many times in my head, but not often out loud. Maybe because it still feels close to the skin. Maybe because some memories do not like to be handled too much. But this is what happened. In the village of Orama, far from busy roads and passing strangers, two girls grew up side by side. I came to the village as a child after my parents died in a motor accident. I was sent to live with my grandparents. They were not rich people, but they were careful people. We had food, we had shelter. I grew up safely. That was where I met Amara. Her life was harder than mine. Her family worked endlessly and still struggled, but she laughed easily. We became friends without effort. Over time, she became my sister. Whatever I had, I shared with her. I never thought of it as charity. It was simply how things were between us. When I turned 23, my grandparents gave me a small amount of money to celebrate. Nothing special, just enough. Amara and I went to a small local eatery by the roadside. We ate, laughed, and talked about the future, even though we did not really understand it yet. That was when Tariq appeared. He was fair, calm, and well-kept. His beard was neat. His eyes were steady, almost too steady. When he looked at you, it felt like he was seeing something beneath your skin. Still, his smile looked harmless. He greeted us politely and asked if he could sit. When I told him it was my birthday, he smiled warmly and wished me well. Throughout the evening, he spoke mostly to me. I did not notice how Amara slowly became quiet. I did not notice how her smile faded and returned too late. After that day, Tariq began to appear often. I saw him on village paths, at the market, near the stream. Sometimes he brought small gifts, sometimes just words. People began to notice. They whispered. Amara noticed most of all. At first, she said nothing, but something inside her began to ache. In the market, people greeted me first. At the stream, strangers spoke to me and barely looked at her. Old feelings she had buried for years began to rise. Jealousy does not arrive loudly. It settles in slowly. She told herself I enjoyed the attention too much, that I liked being chosen. When she spoke to others, those thoughts slipped out as words, quiet ones, unkind ones. Still, she said nothing to me. One late afternoon, Amara went alone to fetch water from the stream. That was unusual, but no one questioned it. People do small things differently when their minds are heavy. As she bent to fill her pot, she heard voices from the bush nearby. Not loud, just enough to catch her attention. At first, she thought it was hunters or men sharing palm wine. Then she recognized his voice. Tariq. She froze. She did not mean to listen. She told herself to leave, but her body stayed where it was. She moved quietly toward the sound and hid behind a fig tree. They spoke of a ritual. They spoke of preparation and timing. They spoke of choosing someone without parents, someone who trusted easily. They were speaking about me. When the words reached her clearly, Amara's body went cold. At first, she thought they were joking. Men sometimes speak foolishly when they think no one is listening. But then she heard my name, the way they described me, slowly, carefully, like something already chosen. Fear swallowed her jealousy. She stayed hidden, afraid that even her breathing might give her away. One of the men asked if the girl would come easily. Tariq answered calmly.
He said I trusted people. He said I had no parents to question where I went. He said I would not resist if I believed I was being invited somewhere safe. Amara's legs weakened. She leaned against the tree to stay standing. She thought of all the times she had felt invisible beside me, all the words she had spoken behind my back, all the moments she had stayed silent when she should have spoken. She realized then that her jealousy had not just hurt me, it had guided danger toward me. She waited until the voices moved deeper into the forest. Only then did she step away, lifting her water pot with shaking hands and walking as calmly as she could. Amara met me on the footpath that led from the stream toward the village. I had my water pot balanced on my head and was already tired. When I saw her standing there, waiting, irritation rose in me before concern. We had not been good lately. She called my name softly and asked me to stop. Her face looked wrong, tight, pale. I asked what it was, already expecting another uncomfortable conversation. She said we needed to talk. I told her she could talk while we walked. I did not want to stop. She spoke in a low voice. She said something was wrong. She mentioned the forest, the voices, the man. I laughed, sharp and quick. I asked if this was how she planned to fix things between us. I reminded her of how she had treated me lately, the coldness, the whispers, the silence. She did not argue. She stopped walking and said, "I won't ask you to believe me. Just come with me. If I'm lying, you can turn back." I hesitated. I did not believe her, but something in her voice was not jealousy. It was fear. We stepped off the path and moved quietly toward the trees. As we got closer, she raised her hand and we hid behind a low bush. That was when I had it. His voice, calm, familiar, close. Through the leaves, I saw him standing with two men. I had my name spoken slowly, like it belonged to something already decided. My chest tightened. I pulled back, my heart racing. Amara did not say anything. She only looked at me, waiting. Earlier that day, Tariq had spoken to me near the market. He told me he wanted to show me something special that evening. He told me to meet him near the old shrine after dark. That was why he was still there. That was why they were waiting. We moved away carefully and returned toward the village, walking normally until we were far enough. Then we hurried. Amara led me to an elder she trusted. At first, he doubted us, but when I told him where I had been asked to meet Tariq, his face changed. He sent for two other men quietly. They followed us back toward the stream as evening deepened. The forest darkened around us. Ahead, low voices carried through the trees. Tariq was still there. When they stepped out and called his name, he turned calmly, the same calm he always wore, but his eyes shifted when he saw how many had come. The others fled. He stayed. He was taken away before night fully settled. Later, when the noise faded and people returned home, Amara and I sat together on a low wooden bench. The air was quiet. After a long time, she said she was sorry. Not loudly, just the words. I did not forgive her immediately, but I held her hand. It felt unfamiliar, but warm. In Oruama, people still tell the story in different ways. Some say jealousy almost destroyed a life. Others say fear saved one. I think both are true, because sometimes the same heart that leads you toward danger is the one that turns back just in time.